we're now being joined by Idan Rol, who's the former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Israel. He served as the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs under the administration of Yair Lapid. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Rol. What is your own assessment of what is unfolding in the Gaza Strip right now?
Well, I think that we are working according to our plans, and we knew before this operation. Well, we were attacked on October 7th in a brutal way, but then we decided we have no choice but defeating Hamas completely. One should understand that this includes both the military wing and the so-called political wing. All of them are terrorists, all of them are leaders of Hamas, and we understand that it will take time.
Mr. Rol, I have to say this, watching how things are actually unfolding, even people who are friends of Israel can't help wondering if Israel has been caught in a trap that has been deliberately set by Hamas. I mean, look at the situation. Intense fighting in an urban area. Hamas is going to be in tunnels, coming out, guerrilla warfare against IDF civilians. Lots of civilians are dead already. Lots more civilians are going to die. And a lot of condemnation for Israel coming in from countries around the world as that bloodshed continues to unfold. Now, I know there's a lot of anger, a lot of horror in Israel after the terror attacks. And those are sentiments that many, many people across the world share. It's a shocking, horrible, terrible thing that happened. But is there a sense that somewhere Israel might be doing right now exactly what Hamas wanted it to do, to fall into this trap of ground warfare with lots of civilian casualties in the Gaza Strip?
I've heard some discussion about Hamas is probably prepared for us. He expected us to start a ground maneuver. I have to say that this is not a war of choice. We just don't have a choice. We have to go all in and make sure that we defeat all of their terrorists and their military capabilities, because otherwise we can't continue to live in Israel. We have to provide safety for our citizens. This is not a war between two armies of two countries that abide by the rule of law, by international laws of war. This is a terror organization that right now holds thousands of foreigners in, not allowing them to leave the Gaza Strip.
Mr. Rol, you're right, and you're right. Hamas is a terror organization, and it considers itself not bound by any rules. But Israel, on the other hand, is a respected member of the international community. It's a country and a respected member of the global community. Now, the extent of the attacks that we are now seeing in Gaza, airstrikes, civilian deaths, children deaths, Israel will have a price to pay for that. It could be in the form of lost diplomatic support, lost relationships with possible allies in the Middle East or countries like Saudi Arabia and others. It has to be said that when you're fighting with a terrorist organization like Hamas, the stakes perhaps are higher for Israel. It has a higher price to pay. So it needs to be more careful as to what it does.
Yes, I was formerly the Deputy Foreign Minister. I understand the price we can pay in the diplomatic arena. But again, we just have to do what we have to do. What I would say to the international community, I would tell them, what would you do differently? I mean, if you were to be attacked for decades by a terror organization and then to be brutally murdered and massacred on one day, the most murderous day since the Holocaust for the Jewish people, what would you do? And you know what? I have to say honestly, other countries would go all in war, a full out war for less than that. So I know that usually we tend to lose, in a gradual manner, we tend to lose support from parts of the international community. This time they need to understand we're fighting a fight for the entire free world. Hamas is part of a web of terror organizations. They're not just threatening us. We need to stop them at our borders so they don't get to other countries.